Okay, so as I said in the introduction, the theme of this talk is meditation tips and tricks. And I was going to talk about metta meditation first. Who here has done metta meditation before? Pretty much everyone. Who here has done a whole meditation of just metta for 45 minutes, an hour? Okay, not as many people. So I think this is quite a common thing that we can do meditation once the mind is peaceful and we have a feeling of good well-being in ourselves, and then doing metta at the end of a meditation. But doing metta meditation as a whole meditation in itself, without doing anapanasati with it, is something not so common. And it's something that I personally struggle with. I tried to do it, and there's certain phrases that you use in metta meditation, uh, thinking, say, of your parents, may they be well, may they be happy, may they be free from illness, may they be successful, may they, these kinds of phrases to get the feeling of metta, this feeling of goodwill going with someone who you do have a good feeling towards. I mean, most people have a good feeling towards their families, not everyone. And then your siblings, the greater family, your friends, going out in widening circles. Um, and my experience is that I can do that. I can go through, and then eventually to people that you don't know, and then people who may not like you or you don't like them, and then to all beings. So in these ever widening circles. And I could go through that once, and that would be okay, and then go through it second time, and that'll be not quite as good, and then it'd just kind of run out of energy. It just kind of the phrases become a bit mechanical, and the feeling isn't. It's hard to sustain the feeling. So I was in New Zealand at the monastery in Wellington, and we had a senior monk come to visit, and somehow we were talking about metta meditation. And I explained this to him, that I had this inability to sustain it over a whole meditation, to do it for a whole hour. And and he asked me, well, where is your mind while you're doing metta meditation? And it's something I'd never really thought about, like where is my mind when I'm doing metta meditation? And so I went away, and I was doing that. May my parents be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to them, and wishing my parents well and visualizing my parents, memories or photographs or just images that I have of my parents, and so on and so forth for relatives. And what I realized is that my mind, by paying attention to where is my focus, I realized it was in my eyes, because that's where I've seen these images before. That's where I see images. And so when I visualize, I just never quite realized that I'm in my head. I'm in my eyes, literally in my head. And so I went back to him and reported this, and he said, well, try putting your awareness into your heart, into the heart area. And so I went away and I tried that. And what I found was I could find the heart, and you find the beating of the heart, focus in that area, get calm and focused, and then start with the may my parents be well, happy, and peaceful. And as soon as I brought up an image of my father, say, my attention would jump up into my eyes. It was like an involuntary thing and then I'd kind of go back and push it down into the heart area, into the chest, and then start again. And it'd jump up into my eyes. I couldn't control it. I had no voluntary control over that. It's so habitual that I do visualization with my eyes. And I just never realized that before. And so I went back to him and I said, this is happening. I can't keep it in the heart. As soon as I visualize a person, then it jumps up into my eyes. And he said, imagine that there's a field coming from the heart out in front of you, into the bottom. like a quadrant in front of you, spreading out from the heart, a field of metta, and then see if you can position the images kind of in line with the eyes, but out in the field, out in front of you, say 6 feet in front of you, 10 feet in front of you. And so I went away and practiced that quite a bit, and I could hold the image rather than a big image up here in my face. So kind of just like almost like holding a photograph out at arm's length in this field in front of my heart. So I could visualize the field of metta coming out of the heart and the image sitting in that field. And then I found, because I think because there's so much more interesting stuff going on, uh, I found that I could do that over a long period of time. I could do that for a whole hour of just metta meditation, visualizing the images as they came out here. And there were other hidden benefits in that when I came to my enemies, or what we call enemies, or the people who are difficult people in your life, what I found with doing metta before, the way I was doing it before, which was all visualization up here in the head, in the eyes, as soon as I visualized that person who I had trouble with, the feeling would kind of evaporate quite quickly. And so, but with this technique, I could just have no image. So I could go through the words, those difficult people in my life, may they be well, happy, and peaceful, and just stay with the field of metta, almost visualizing it as a pink glow or a kind of a light coming out from the heart, and then just don't have the images. Whereas before it was all about the images, and my mind, I didn't have any awareness of where my mind is physically located. And so it's been a real addition. And that senior monk that I talked to, he does one meditation, anapanasati, just breath meditation, one meditation, just metta, totally metta, and one meditation, asubha, contemplating the unbeautiful nature of the body. And he rotates to keep them all in balance. And it was that comment that made me question him and say, how do you do that? How do you actually do a whole metta meditation? Because I've always found that so difficult to sustain before, but it was because there was no heart in it. It was all up in the head, and it was all images. And as soon as some the images became blurry, or I didn't have images, or the people that I didn't like or difficult, it would just kind of fizzle out. And so I hope that that's useful for people.